Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. The weather is not going to keep us away this week, but we are back. It was pretty nice outside. A little cold right now, but the Coach's Corner with Con and Kath. I'm Con, that's Kath. Catherine, how was this weekend with softball?
This weekend was good. You know, it was a lot warmer than this past week was on Monday, so I really enjoyed being out to go into the sun and watch softball. I learned a lot, so I'm looking forward to watching more games later in the season.
All right, Catherine. Well, who do we have on today's show?
Well, we're going to start with the women's basketball team. They've won 6 games in a row, so we're going to bring on head coach Tanya Haave to start off. And then next, the softball season just got underway this past weekend, as we were saying before. So we are going to talk about the 5 games that they had in 3 days and bring on head coach Annie Van Wetzinga. And lastly, we're going to bring back women's basketball talk and talk with senior Mikayla Gonzales about how their team is playing so well in 2019.
Well, it's a fun time of year with so many Roadrunner sports going on at the same time. But before we bring on Coach Haave, let's recap you what happened this past weekend in Roadrunner sports. The softball team opened up their new season at home this past weekend. On Sunday, they took on our MAC foe, UC Colorado Springs. Senior pitcher Kylie Burnside was great from the circle, holding the Mountain Lions to just 3 hits in 6 innings while striking out 6 Mountain Lions. The offense opened up in the 5th inning, scoring 5 runs to really break open the game. Rebecca Gonzales had a whale of a game, going 3 for 4, driving in 3 runs and stealing 3 bases. MSU Denver blanks UCCS 8-0.
The women's basketball team came up with a couple more wins this weekend, which included a 69-54 win over Black Hills State in Spearfish, South Dakota. Emily Hartigan came up big, scoring a game-high 23 points and pulling down 8 rebounds. Senior guard Jalen Smith was again sensational, almost coming up with a triple-double, scoring 11 points, grabbing 9 boards and dishing out 8 assists. Coach Haave's squad has now won 6 straight games.
The men's team also took on Black Hills State this weekend and fought to the bitter end, falling by just 2 points to the Yellow Jackets. 11 different players scored for MSU Denver, but allowed Black Hills to rally from a double-digit lead late in the second half. The squad looks to get back on track this weekend against Colorado Mines and UC Colorado Springs.
The new baseball season got underway for Coach Strain's squad this past weekend. They hit the road to California to take on Cal State San Marcos for a 3-game set. In the finale, the Cougars would jump on the scoreboard first off a 3-run home run in the first inning. The Roadrunners would bounce back and even the game at 4 thanks to Zach Walsh sacrifice fly. But San Marcos would get a late run and steal away the 5-4 win.
Both of our tennis teams opened up their spring schedule this past weekend. The men defeated Oklahoma Baptist 5-2, while the women also took home a win against the Bisons by the same score. Eliza McKenna won in number 2 singles while also taking down number 2 doubles with teammate Mackenzie Houghton. The team of Joey Shirney and Mateo Besada took down the Bison's number 1 doubles teams, while Alejandro Martinez Moria came up with the victory in number 2 singles. A great start to the 2019 year for our tennis teams.
And finally, the indoor track and field team competed in the Colorado Invitational on Friday and Saturday. Erica Ruiz was a highlight for the Roadrunners as the senior broke the tape in the 5,000 meter race. Ruiz finished with a time of 17 minutes and 49 seconds, which is good enough to earn a spot in the NCAA championships. Great job, Erica! Sam Burke continues to earn personal best times this year, this time running a fantastic 3,000, beating his previous mark by 2 seconds. Visit RoadrunnersAthletics.com for more results and stats from all our sports here at MSU Denver.
So now it's time to welcome in Coach Haave, coach of the women's basketball team. Coach, always great to have you on the show. How was your trip up north?
Well, it was good. When you win 2 games, they're always good. So it was good to go up there. That's traditionally been a really tough trip for us. So for us to come away with a sweep was really satisfying. So really pleased.
Absolutely.
So on a long road trip, can you kind of watch from afar and kind of see how the student athletes kind of interact with each other? Since they're new faces, it kind of has to be important that everyone's getting along and meshing well together, not only for this season, but also for the upcoming seasons as well.
Absolutely. It's good, these trips, while you don't like to take long trips on the bus, but you're on the bus a long time. It gives the girls a chance to kind of bond and hang out and talk and play games, and they do a great job. Our team does a great job with it, and they have a lot of fun with each other, and they actually have fun. We actually have fun with them. I hope they feel the same way, but we do have fun with them and enjoy that. So that's the upside of those longer bus rides. So, and added bonus going up to South Dakota is that we were able to stop by Mount Rushmore and see that for
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Were
there any first-timers that had seen it?
Several. I'd say about half our team about first time. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I saw a picture on Twitter. The men's team had a picture. They saw it. They took.
Yeah, they came right behind us. And fortunately, they were right behind us because our bus broke down. Our battery went dead.
Oh no!
And so we had to ride down to Rapid City with the men. And we got the issue fixed. But just a small blip in the radar there, and some things that happen on the road at times.
Well, clearly it didn't affect your team's performance on the court.
Thank goodness.
On Friday night, you guys took on South Dakota School of Mines, and as you mentioned earlier, no matter what their record is, you guys always seem to have a tough time playing there. What is it? Is it just the fans? Is it just the environment? What is it about that team?
I don't know what it is. It's like I said, you're correct. Every time it's traditionally been a tough place for us to play. Fortunately, last year and this year, it hasn't been as tough. I mean, we really came out, I thought, focused. We, were 30-18 at halftime. It wasn't like we were dominating them, but we were getting good shots. We were able to stop them and just think, hey, let's just stay with it, and see what happened. And then we were able to blow it open in the second half. But I don't know what it is. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to let me know. But I'm glad the last 2 times we've been able to come away with victories. One
of the many unsolved mysteries.
Yes, one of those strange mysteries of the world.
Get those Mythbusters out there and crack that case.
Yeah.
All right, so you like to preach defense, and it seemed like your defense gave South Dakota Mines fits, because just 1 quarter they had double-digit points. They also only shot 31% from the field. What are your thoughts on how your defense played?
I think we're doing a really good job with our scouts or knowing our personnel. We felt like we could put a lot of ball pressure on them and speed them up a little, and we were able to do that, I thought, for most of the game. I think maybe the first quarter is the only quarter they had double digits, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So we were able to really speed them up, and then I think that tempo just took its toll. This is a team that they've got really skilled players, so don't be fooled by the score. They've just been hit by a rash of injuries, so it's a quality team. I think what happens is they just get a little worn down, and fortunately for us, we were playing well, and it was great. I was able to get everybody double-digit minutes that night, which it helps us experience-wise, but you want everybody to, as a coach, you always want, I'd love for everybody to play equal minutes, so get everybody some minutes was good.
We saw Mariah Schrader scoring in double digits in this game, and she's another one of those on the list of Roadrunners not named Emily Hardigan or Jalen Smith that has been contributing, especially as of late. Talk about some of those players and how they've stepped up as of late.
Well, gosh, you have Mariah, you have Mikayla Gonzales, who you're going to speak to a little bit later. You have Bree Wellington, Abby Josephaitis, Jaden Galloway, Mariah, Linny. Everybody's starting at Morgan Lewis. I think I probably got everybody there. They all are starting to contribute just a little bit. And if your name isn't Emily or Jay, that helps Emily and Jay. So to get those contributions from those players, it just speaks volumes. And so proud, going back to Mariah, of where she's come. She's really struggling right before the Christmas break, but really has put her mind to really being intentional in practice, and her hard work is starting to pay off. You always like it when players, because she is a hard worker. She works her rear end off all the time. You always like to see when their hard work pays off in game time and getting more playing time and seeing the production that she's been getting.
The following night, you guys battled against Black Hills State, and they're also battling for a spot in the RMAC playoffs. It was really close the first half, but then with a 6-0 run at halftime and an 11-4 in the second, you really blew it open and ended up getting the win. Can you talk to us about that game?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It was pretty close, back and forth that first half. I felt like our tempo was good, both on offensively and defensively. And again, at the beginning of the second half, if we can make a good run at the beginning of that second half, that does open things up for us. And then we were able to get the 11-4 run, as you mentioned, and blow it open, and then kind of cruise on in from there. But they are a very, very tough team. They've traditionally been one of the tougher teams that we always face every year. So to get a victory there, I don't know when the last time it's been that we've won there, probably 2 or 3 years. So it's really satisfying.
That must feel really good.
Well, and they were 1 game behind us, so they win and we lose. We're tied with them. So now we were able to get a little bit of a break. And we'll be facing that again this week on the road as well. But I think just being able to maintain that tempo and just get that extra push in that third quarter, fourth quarter, to be able to sustain that has really been helpful for us. So we'll be looking to build on that for sure.
And Emily Hardigan came back this past weekend after not playing the weekend prior. She was lights out. She was shot 16 for 23 from the floor and combined 34 points between those 2 games. What was it like for the team to have her back, and what impact did she play in those 2 games?
Well, aside from her production, it's her presence, it's her energy, it's the girls, her teammates know that she will run through a wall for them. The energy she provides, all those intangible things, and then you add on the enormous production that she provides for us. You know, all those intangible things are leadership for us. And I think especially on the road, going on the road in a tough place on the road to have that leadership was just huge, especially on Saturday night. We really needed her Saturday night, and she answered the bell, no question.
So now it's 6 wins in a row for your team, and you're back in the thick of the RMAC playoff race. You may possibly be hosting a first-round game. How good is it to feel and see these girls progress and see them get so much more confident as this season progresses? Oh
my God, that's why you coach. It's the satisfaction of being able to see both individuals and teams progress as they do. And they're playing hard and they're having fun, and yeah, it's intense, but it's really a lot of fun to see all that. So to go from where we were, you know, but that's what you want. You know, if you're going to go through some struggles, go through the struggles early, and then you want to start, you know, we just keep progressing to try and keep playing our best basketball by the end of February.
Well, I'm excited to see you guys continue that great momentum. And, Coach, thanks for joining us on this show.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Wish you some good luck on going back on the road this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's that time of the show where we read you the tweet of the week. This week's tweet comes from our volleyball team, who celebrated their 2018 season this past Saturday. The squad honored their 3 amazing seniors while reflecting on another great year in which the squad earned their 19th straight trip to the NCAA tournament. We want to wish Santasia Sturgis, Stephanie Laraway, and Taylor Duryea the best of luck wherever they go after MSU Denver. Time for that break, but we're coming right back with softball talk up next on the Coach's Corner.
I'm Kyle Jones. I'm a junior this year on the cross-country team. You're watching the Coach's Corner, and get rowdy.
Welcome back to the show, and before we talk with Coach Van Wetzinga, we want to tell you that next week is homecoming week here at MSU Denver, and the Tivoli Tap House will be getting in on the fun. They will be hosting their Mug Club happy hour on February 16th and will take place from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Join your fellow Roadrunners for a good time that Saturday, as you can enjoy $2 off any Tivoli Brewing Co. brew, and there will be complimentary Smalls apps after a fun tour of the Colorado's oldest brewery. You can visit TivoliBrewingCo.com for information on this fun event. So now we say hello to Coach Annie Van Wetzinga, head coach of the softball team. Good to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
So your season got underway this past weekend. What's that feeling like for you on game day as you get ready for that very first game of the season? Are you taking it all in, or are you just ready to focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, ready just to get going, you know, because we train and practice and everything all year long. You know, we start at typically the second week of school, and so it's a long time to not really be playing games, and it's a lot of build-up. So it's fun. It's opening weekend is a big deal, you know, because you work so long for it, and it's just exciting just to be able to get to play, you know. So yeah, it's pretty much just like, let's go get it.
And it was exciting. You guys played 5 games in 3 days this past weekend against some really good competition. What were some of the goals that you're going to have heading into this coming weekend, and what are you hoping to see from your team?
Yeah. Well, we did, even though, you know, obviously the record and the win-loss didn't fall where we wanted it to. we ended on a high note, and we had a lot of positives. It's more about putting everything together and not hurting ourselves so badly and giving up big innings. So we're really looking to continue to build off the win, build off the big win, and continue to improve. And hopefully we don't want to reset and start back to where we started this weekend, next weekend. Again, always looking to move forward and improve.
So let's talk pitching, starting with Darby McGee. She had a tough outing the first game of the weekend, and she really rebounded in a tough situation on the Saturday, coming in with a big deficit, and she really kept your team in the game in that one. We heard you say she probably had her best performance as a Roadrunner in that one. Yeah, so her first game didn't go, as well as we'd like, and it's still, again, kind of deceiving because her struggles were kind of self-induced. It was because of the walks. She gave up too many free bases. 4 walks in 4 innings, it's too much, but you also look at, she also had 5 strikeouts in 4 innings. So when she had her control, she was really effective. It was just those walks that came back and haunted her. So it was really nice to see her improve upon that and just attack the hitters and make them hit her pitches. And so it was huge for her to bounce back that way. And she was in a lot of tough situations the next couple games. And yeah, I think she's had other good performances, where she's had good stat lines, but these performances this weekend were much more mature, and her composure was so steady. That was a really big step for Darby. You could see, like, she's a junior now and kind of using that experience and being that leader in the circle. It was really cool. Well, it was fun to see her fight through some of that adversity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we saw some strong performances from Kylie Burnside, who got the win on Sunday, as well as freshman Julia Heights. Can you talk to us a little bit about their performances?
Yeah, for sure. So Kylie, kind of same situation. Both her and Darby pitched in the first game, but kind of same situation, struggled with some control and accuracy in game 1. But it was really cool to see her bounce back and have that resiliency, and 3-hit shutout against UCCS, and she was sharp and she was composed, and anytime maybe she didn't get the call she wanted, or they got a hit, maybe they started getting something going, she stayed steady, continued to pitch her game and not make anything too big or too small. And so again, definitely growth there, and that's kind of the leadership we need in the circle. And again, same story with Julia, which is maybe even more impressive. It's a freshman, so first collegiate start, rough first inning with the 3 runs, but then she bounces back, which is really cool, and she retires 15 batters in a row, and then again runs in a little trouble late with some walks, but to see her, a freshman in that situation, be able to kind of bounce back after 3 runs in the first inning was really impressive, really mature of her. So I'm really excited with Julia to see her continue to grow and what she can do for us in the future.
So we saw a lot of different lineups out there, not only in the field but also in the batting order. Is it just the time of year where you're still trying to mix and match things and see where they are? And in that case, what are you looking for in those instances?
Yeah, so lots of different lineups, and we knew that was probably going to be the case. So I think this year we have the most depth we've ever had in my time here. We have a lot of players who can do different things, whether it's they can run, pinch runner, they can come off the bench for pinch hitting. We can do different things with our lineups because we have that flexibility. So we knew we were going to do that. We want to give people opportunities and see kind of where the chips settle after the first couple weekends, in terms of maybe this is more of like going to be our consistent starting lineup, but we need to see some people develop and get experience. In terms of the batting order, we need consistency. It was inconsistent. That was a big problem for us. We had really good moments and then too many lulls where we weren't hitting the ball hard enough. So we're trying to find, get people to be consistent and then try to put them together in the order so we can string more things together.
One of the players that stood out in the batting order was the freshman center fielder, Mikayla Gonzales. She had 4 over 5 game with at least 2 hits, and she also had 3 stolen bases in one of her games. You must have really liked what you saw in preseason in order to put her in such, high position so early on in her career.
Yeah, for sure. She had a really strong fall season for us. And off season, and so we were high on her. We knew she was a good chance she was going to be in the middle of things, and so not I mean, it was a great first weekend. You don't necessarily predict that, but the way she carries herself, she doesn't carry herself like a freshman. You can kind of see that she's very calm when she goes into the box. No situation seems too big or anything like that. And so it's cool for her to carry over her success in the fall into the spring season, and she just kind of goes out there and does her thing.
Well, it's that time of the show once again where we ask some trivia questions for Coach.
I should have looked up and did some research.
Didn't research. Oh, you dropped the ball.
I did drop the ball.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Well, are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
It's multiple choice.
Okay.
Who is the all-time coaching wins leader in MSU Denver history? Is it A, Joan McDermott? Is it B, Jen Fisher? Or is it C, yourself, Annie Van Wetzinga?
Well, just based on how many years I've coached here and the limited history of softball at MSU Denver, it's probably me.
Is that your
or is
answer?
It could actually, I kind of want to say, is this win percentage or total wins?
Total wins.
I'll just say Jen Fisher, because if I say myself and I'm wrong, that looks really bad. So I've just based on years, I would say myself. I'm going to go with Jen Fisher.
Jen Fisher, final answer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were incorrect.
It was me?
It was you.
She was too humble. She was way too humble.
I have the luck of being here longer than Jen.
We should give it to her because she did say her first, and then she changed it. She had some second thought.
Sit down,
We'll give it to
sit
you.
down, be
let's
humble,
give it to
right?
her.
We'll give it to you. Humility led you to
Exactly.
getting the point. We'll give you the point.
We're going to give her the
appreciate
point.
that.
So that one was pretty easy, but how many wins do you have here at MSU Denver?
I have like somewhere probably around, it's really easy because it was recently 300 at the beginning of the last year. We had 30-some wins. I'm at probably around 335 or something.
For Metro.
Metro.
Metro wins? That's right, that was my career. I don't know.
Take a shot.
201.
201.
That's too high, isn't it?
Too high.
180.
It was 181.
Oh, it was 181?
We're going to give it to you because you said it before I told you what the answer was.
Okay.
So it's not cheating.
All right, thanks, guys.
So you get both of the points.
Yeah.
Double points
That's
for
all.
coaching.
That was really generous of you guys on the double points, but I'll take it.
Not a bad way
I'll
to-
take the win any way I can get it. How about that?
Not a bad way to start
That's
the
right.
weekend.
That's right.
Well, Coach, thanks for hanging out with us, and
Thank
good luck
you.
this weekend in St. George.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
One more break here on the Coach's Corner. Stay close. We'll be back with Mikayla Gonzales up next.
I'm Mikayla Gonzales, senior forward from the women's basketball team.
Going to dish into the post for Gonzales, and that one is good for 2.
And you're watching the Coach's Corner. Get rowdy.
Thanks for sticking with us. We want to remind you to follow us on Twitter. We're at MSU Denver Sports. We're always tweeting out scores, schedules, Mikayla Gonzales highlights and her quirky interviews, links to watch all the games and more. You can follow all 16 of our teams on Twitter at MSU Denver Sports. Speaking of Mikayla Gonzales, here she is with us. Senior from the women's basketball team. Mikayla, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So your team has won 6 straight games. In your eyes, what has been the difference in terms of the team has been struggling to start the season, and now all of a sudden you guys are beating teams with ease?
Yeah, I would say kind of in the beginning, we had quite a few new players, especially freshmen, and it was just kind of a lot of adjusting for them. It's a different level, it's a different type of intensity, and so we did struggle at first, but once we got in, deeper in the conference, we kind of started figuring it out, and we're kind of playing with more like that more team aspect, and we're kind of like getting to know what each other does best and how we can complement each other better. And a big focus has been defense and like knowing your personnel, knowing what the team is doing and paying attention and scout, and we've really buckled down on that end. And I think when you play good on the defensive end, your offensive end will come as well.
Absolutely.
We're going to get a little bit personal and talk about you. You seem to, in these past few games have a lot more energy. You know, you're going for those loose balls, you're getting those rebounds. Has it been more of a physical or a mental change in order to get you to that point, do you think?
I would say more of a mental change. You know, I kind of pride myself in being that player who's willing to get on the floor and get boards and play good defense. You know, I'm not really much of like I'm going to score 15 points or more a game, but that's okay with me, and I like that. You know, if I come out with 8 to 10 boards that game, you know, that's like a successful game for me. Yeah, it's probably a mental change. It is my senior year. You know, I want to end it on a good note, and like we've won the past 6 games, so things are going well so far.
You're definitely ending it on a good note so far.
Absolutely. And speaking of, how fun is it to play with Jalen Smith? She's such a crafty player out there and always distributing for teammates. She's top RMAC assists leader right now, and she's breaking records left and right. And she's making her case for RMAC Player of the Year. Are you amazed what she can do out there?
Yeah, Jay, I mean, I've played basketball with Jay since I was probably 16. So,
dang.
Yeah, so I've known Jay for a while now, and the way she plays is amazing. The way she can get people the ball and her vision of the court it's amazing. And, you know, all the recognition she gets, she deserves it, and she's part of the reason we have stepped it up and won the past couple games, and why even last year we made it so far. She's really a big contributor to this team, and, you know, her basketball IQ is just insane.
As we mentioned before, you are a senior. So what is your major, and what do you really plan on doing once you graduate?
So my major is finance. I have actually accepted a job offer with Charles Schwab starting in June, so post-graduation. So I'll be kind of going down the finance route. We'll see what happens from there, but that's kind of what I have going right now.
So you're graduating as well in May then. I'm a senior as well, so we're graduating the same time.
Yeah.
Are you at all nervous about going into this next step of your life, I guess?
I wouldn't say I'm nervous. I'm anxious because, you know, all I've ever known is basketball and school, and I think I'm kind of ready to start that, you know, next step in my life and kind of, you know, make some real money and, you know, have my own place and things like that. So I'm kind of excited for that step in my life.
Well, it should be fun, but for the meantime with basketball, what has it been like to play for Coach Haave, and how much have you learned from her in your 2 years here at MSU Denver?
She is amazing. She's so funny. Her big thing is defense, and I think that's a really good quality to have as a coach. You know, I'll tell you, the whole practice will focus on defense, and her thing is, you know, if we play good defense, offense will come. And it's really like kind of taught me a lot about being a selfless player and focusing more on doing things on the defensive end, because it's true, the offense will just come, you know, it just comes to you, your shots, you'll start hitting, things like that. So I think just the fact that what she focuses on really helps us focus on certain things, and it's the important things. And then aside from basketball, like she's so funny, she's so easy to talk to, and she's willing to, if you want to meet her, she'll drop everything and she'll go meet up with you or take you to Starbucks or anything. She's awesome. Yeah.
So last year, you guys went to not only the RMAC playoffs, but also the NCAA tournament. You know, your team is making another great run towards that. What are some of the things that you're telling the new faces that maybe haven't gone to those competitions with you about what it takes to get to that level?
Yeah. I don't know, some of the things that we talk about a lot is that, you know, playing on Friday night is fun and exciting, but Saturday night, it kind of gets, you know, a little bit tiring. You're fatigued from the night before, so I think that's really, really important, is focusing on that second night and making sure you're getting rest and getting your body right for the second night of games, because you can't go play great Friday night and then just come out sluggish on Saturday. And when you get to the tournament, you'll play a Tuesday, and then if you win, you'll play a Friday, Saturday. So it's back to back to back, and you have to be ready to go, and I think that's really important going into the tournament and things like that.
So you drive home that endurance.
Yeah, and making sure that you understand that the next night is just as important as tonight.
Well, it'll be fun to see that portion of the season, and thank you, Mikayla, for joining us here on the show. I wish you luck for this weekend on the road and the rest of your season.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Before we get out of here, let's give you a preview of what's coming up this weekend in Roadrunner Sports. Mikayla and her team will head to Colorado Springs and Golden this weekend to continue our MAC play. Friday night's game against the Mountain Lions tips off at 5:30, while Saturday's matchup against the Ore Diggers will get going at 5. Then the men will also play UCCS and Mines, and those times are at 7:30 and 7 p.m. respectively.
Coach Van and her softball team will hit the road to St. George, Utah to play 5 games in 3 days. They'll compete in the Dixie State Courtyard Classic and will play their first game against Central Washington on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. The baseball team will also continue their season on the road this upcoming weekend, taking on Emporia State for a 4-game set.
And finally, our indoor track and field team will head to Colorado Springs as well to compete in the UCCS Invite this Saturday. And after all the great outings we've seen so far, you can bet more personal best records will fall for our Roadrunners. And that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank Mikayla Gonzales, Coach Van Wetzinga, and Coach Haave for joining us tonight. For Catherine Neitenbach, I'm Connor Dockery, and we'll see you next weekend on the Coach's Corner with Con and Kath.